Hello, welcome to the Healthy For Men Podumentary series. My name's Tom Rowley. I'm the editor of Healthy For Men magazine. Before we get going, just a quick partnership announcement. This episode is brought to you by Bounce Foods. Now, Bounce's mission is to inspire positive change in the way people eat, think and live, which is what the Healthy For Men Podumentary series is all about. If you haven't tried Bounce balls before, they're full of high quality protein, high quality vitamins and minerals, and they're great for when you're on the go and you need a quick snack. There's also a vegan option called V-Life, which are made from almonds and plant protein. Super tasty, super convenient. Grab a Bounce ball from any Holland and Barrett store throughout the UK or visit bouncefoods.com for more information. Hello, thank you for downloading this episode of the Healthy For Men Podumentary series in association with Holland and Barrett. My name's Tom Rowley, I'm the editor of Healthy For Men magazine. And in this episode, we speak with Jason Fox. You might know Jason from the Channel 4 series SAS Who Dares Wins, in which they train civilians to be SAS commandos, essentially. But Jason also has his own show called Meet the Drug Lords on Channel 4, where he goes to some of the scariest places on the planet and interviews some of the scariest men. It's a really fascinating show. If you get a chance to watch it, please do. Jason is a fantastic journalist and a really interesting character. We met with Jason for our cover shoot and we interviewed him for Healthy For Men magazine. If you'd like to read the full interview, please pick up your copy of Healthy For Men magazine in any Holland and Barrett store throughout the UK. In this issue, we also explore the paleo diet. What are some of the pitfalls? What can you benefit from a paleo diet? And is the caveman lifestyle really the most healthiest way to go? We also speak to ex-commando Bruce Parry about his experience living with indigenous tribes and what we can learn from indigenous people about mental health. Thank you for downloading this episode, and I hope you enjoy our conversation with Jason Fox. Jason, thank you so much for coming in again and speaking to us. How have you been?
I've been good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me in, actually.
Always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Last time I saw you, we were doing our cover shoot for 78.
Yeah, it's good, great fun, awesome time.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was,
yeah, and it looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see it on the shelves at Holland and Barrett. It's going to look fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet. So. Good.
Well, you will soon, very soon, trust me. So, the Drug Lords, the Real Narcos is now, will be, by the time this is out, have aired on Channel 4. Are you excited?
Very excited, yeah.
Nervous?
A little nervous.
Yeah.
Healthy nerves.
Healthy nerves, yeah. Nerves are healthy sometimes, aren't they? Yeah.
Always good to have nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so is it right to say your debut on TV was SAS Who Dares Wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So can you tell us how that came about? How did you get that gig?
That is slightly long-winded, but I ended up getting a job working behind the camera. It was actually quite convoluted, to be fair, but this is a part of it. That's the more interesting part. Is I got a job working behind the camera as a safety guy. I was actually the underwater cameraman's dive buddy, so I was there to make sure that he wasn't running out of air, wasn't getting tangled up. I was pretty much just sat in tropical water, chilling out. It's quite
nice.
Cool. But what he was filming was underwater archaeologists diving on pirate shipwrecks and looking for antiquities. It turned out that we got bored one day, went down and decimated one of the dive sites and found a load of treasure. Well, actually, we found a 55-kilogram bar of silver, brought it up, made the headlines.
Blimey.
And then from that, there was people back in the UK that had been involved in that shoot. They then moved on to another company. There was talks of a TV show that basically sort of mimicked Special Forces selection, and they said, "Yep, that's great idea, but where'd you find these ex-Special Forces guys?" So off the back end of that sort of came about, and
wow,
that's how I got a phone call saying, "Hey, do you want to be on this TV show?" I actually thought I was going to be a consultant, to be fair, and then it turned out it was an on-screen job, and I was like, had to think about that one for a little bit.
Quite a turnaround that is, isn't it?
Yeah. I was, to be honest, before that job, which was in Madagascar, or just off the coast of Madagascar, I was scratching around for work. I was financially in a bad, I was coming out the back end of being, in a bad place anyway from leaving the military. I was in a dark place, but I was scratching around for work, and I'd got a job that I didn't enjoy, and I left it, and I was struggling, and then thanks to a very good friend of mine, Aldo Kane, who got me that job in Madagascar. That got that, and it bounced on, and and I've not really looked back.
Yeah, now you've done incredibly. It's a nice story to hear. So you've essentially gone from not zero, but from quite a low point to
below zero, I'd say.
Below zero. Okay, you've gone from minus to. You're killing it now. This show looks fantastic. Obviously, SAS Who Dare Swims was extremely successful. Did you meet Ant Middleton on set as well?
No, all four of us knew each other, but we hadn't necessarily worked together. Myself and Ollie knew each other from a while ago, and we'd worked together. Billy I knew about, and we'd crossed paths. And I'd never worked with professionally, but we were in the same unit. We were just in we were in different squadrons. So,
right.
So yeah, I knew him more socially. We all knew each other very much more socially, and then we got together and worked on TV.
Right, yeah. But you don't see him, I guess you're too busy now, you don't see them that much anymore.
You know what, we all speak to each other. We don't see each other as much because, personally we've got other stuff going on. But obviously, when the SAS show comes about, it's like a reunion. We get together, have a crack,
I bet that's a good laugh.
So it's good, yeah.
Excellent. So, the Real Narcos, it didn't start off how you expected it to start off, did it? It was quite a different gig when it was initially sold to you. So can you tell us how that came about?
It was sold to me as a show called Miami Vice, where I would live in Miami, which I was more than happy with, hanging out, or at least dabbling and mixing in the drug underworld there, and meeting the people that operate in it.
And then retiring to the beach afterwards and just relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. And, also there was going to be an element where we worked with law enforcement as well. So we were going to look at like the gateway to the US for drugs, it is seen as that. Then they went into some meetings with the channel and they turned it all around. And the next thing you know, I'm living in some of the most dangerous places, if not in South and Central America, than the world. Wow. But yeah, it was cool. I loved it. It was to be fair, it was the right thing to do, and I actually got more excited about that because there was more risk involved and edge. So it was going to make for something good. Hopefully, we'll see. Or you'll have seen.
Absolutely, yes, and it's similar to what you're used to, I suppose. In a way, it's a little bit of a thrill there.
Yeah,
real life risk.
Exactly. Yeah, I do need to do things I need to keep doing things in my life that get the adrenaline flowing and sort of I like to be taken out of my comfort zone. It's always good to do that, become uncomfortable. So this was a good way of doing it.
So what was the scariest moment for you making the series?
I mean, there was a lot of elements of sketchiness about the show. I would say the scariest sort of nerves-wise was probably when we did the interview with the masked hitmen / cartel members in Mexico at night in a room. They came in, they were on edge. We weren't too sure at the time about their standing in the cartel. It turns out that they were actually quite well connected, quite high up. But they were very much on edge. They were very wary of us. They were very paranoid, and they were also very dangerous. They put us fully in the picture as soon as they turned up and said if we mucked around, then they'd shoot us, take us out to the desert and bury us. So that set the scene.
A nice introduction. Yeah, good nerves, bad nerves?
Always good to have nerves. I don't know whether good or bad, but we had nerves.
How do you manage that? How do you manage that relationship with these people that are so paranoid and on edge and violently dangerous?
Best way is to swallow your pride a little bit. Don't try and be the tough man. And we were there to talk to them and find out about them. So it was about breaking down barriers. It's about, a bit of eye contact, but not too much. And also, just be a personable individual. Try and build that relationship. I think we got what we came for. When the interview finished, it was like work had been done, and they actually chilled out a bit more, and we sort of had a laugh. sort of, like they were trying to show me their guns. It was bizarre. I'm not really, weirdly, with my background, I'm not like a gun person. I'm not into that. Mm-hmm. So, to sort of pretend I was like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. Whatever.
Were they like golden guns and things like that?
No, they were like proper. They were like, you had something called a Beretta. I know what they are. I'm not really too fussed about
Beretta, yeah. I know that from like rap songs and things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So what do you think was the defining moment of the show for you? If you think about a moment that you really learnt the most about yourself, perhaps, or the criminal underworld?
I don't know whether I learned an awful lot about myself. I was just calling into play things I'd learned in the past with regard to remaining switched on, and when we were getting ourselves into dangerous situations, looking at what we needed to do. That's where I hope I lent something. But I learned a lot about that world, the war on drugs, the people that are involved in the drugs industry, how hard they've got it. A lot of them don't have a choice. They have no choice. They're born into that world, really. If you're born in a certain area, there's not an awful lot going on there. The cartels take advantage of poor communities. And that's what it was. It's sad, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're just exploiting the poverty around them.
They're taking advantage of communities that aren't invested in by authority.
Yeah. Did it remind you of any of your experiences in the SAS at all?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, getting yourself into dodgy situations, that happens quite a lot when you're in the special forces, but it did there was an element of it reminding me, but then it was completely different. I was there in a different capacity. I didn't have a weapon. There was very little backup. We didn't have, a load of other soldiers there with me. So it was similar with regard to how I was perceiving situations, but then dynamically different.
But you felt like a journalist more so than a...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely felt more like a journalist as opposed to a soldier.
Right. So you were a dog handler. Did you start off as a dog handler?
No, that's just an additional... it was what we call an additional qualification. So right. I've been a demolitionist. Also, trying to think of everything, Arctic warfare, jungle survival instructor, all these sort of things. And I just did dog handling for a 2-year, I think it was about 18-month period.
Right. You've got quite a varied resume in the military, haven't you?
Yeah, reasonably. Yeah.
Reasonably. So you started when you were 16, is that right?
16, yeah. I joined up when I was pretty much finished school, to be honest.
Did you always know that you were going to join?
I suppose, yeah, teenage years I'd have said so. I knew I was pretty much not achieving at school.
Right.
I was not really into that. I actually, like earlier on, I wanted to be a graphic designer, but I couldn't draw. And yes, and my old man, he was in the Marines, so it did sway me. But I knew that I was probably going to start getting into trouble as a 15, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And I needed to do something subconsciously. I suppose I just said to myself, right, go the natural route because of my dad, and join the Marines.
So your brother's in the SAS as well? He's in
the Marines.
He's in the Marines.
Yeah.
Okay. You told me last time we met about your tattoo and what that means to you. Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, sort of. So it's two Spartan warriors stood next to each other. So that's a sort of warrior brotherhood thing.
Yeah,
it's a good way of depicting it. So I suppose it's there to remind me of me and my brother. We're both in the Marines at the same time, but also me and the lads that I hold close to me. Some that are still serving, some aren't. And then there's a the red Wolverine is on one of the Spartans' shields, and that depicts my affiliation to I was in the X Squadron, which was known as the X-Men. So we saw ourselves as the Wolverine. So
obviously you guys can't see it, but it is a really cool tattoo. It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's there to remind me about.
And you've got your brother's DNA in there.
Yeah, so some people find this a bit freaky, but there's a guy I know who set up a company, and he's an entrepreneur and inventor, and he's found a way of harnessing DNA in are sort of patented. They call them microspheres, and basically they can put the DNA into them. They're made of a material, and they're of a size that won't be basically rejected by the skin, and it sits in there.
Microspheres.
So I've, as a bit of a thing to my brother, brother warrior and all this sort of stuff.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never heard of it before you told me about it before.
It's been launched, but it's taken a while. I think it's funny, when I first heard about it, I was a bit like, that's weird. Mm-hmm. And then the more you think about it, in relation to the tattoo, and they're called Everence. That's the company. But when you think about what it can make a tattoo mean, you can also have it put into paints. You can have pictures painted with maybe DNA in, or parts of something that you hold dear. So yeah, I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
I do
really
anyway,
cool.
personally.
No, I would agree. And tattoos are all about symbolism, aren't they? And that's quite a symbolic kind of brotherhood, ceremonial kind of thing to have done, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I like it. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
So you're obviously super into your fitness by default.
I try.
Is it right to say that you get quite agitated if you can't have a workout?
Oh yeah, definitely. I if I don't get to, I'll have my off days and I'll enjoy them, but I need to train. I get narky if I don't get 5 days a week in. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've just come back from holiday and I was, there was no gym in the hotel, so I just had a 6 foot square space that I just, racked out burpees, press ups. There was something I could do pull ups on, that sort of thing. So it keeps me sane, I suppose. Keeps me from getting difficult to be with.
Prison workout kind of situation.
Yeah, prison workout. Yeah,
that's
very,
cool.
very McVicker style. If anyone remembers that film.
I had that on VHS. Actually.
It's good.
Good movie. Is that Ray Winston?
No, that was that. It was. He's the lead singer of the Who. Roger Daltrey.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's how old the film is. But it's look it up. It's awesome.
Awesome. So you're really into your TRX as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I was, and then it broke. So, I've got another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say, we've got loads of TRXs here.
Have you?
Just take one, yeah. TRX duos, the TRX duo is it's double point, so it's 2 straps.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Sorry.
So it's 2 points of gravity, which means that it's actually quite a lot harder to balance, so you use a lot more your core.
Okay.
So I'd recommend
I've not used that one.
Give it a go.
I will do, yeah.
I'll see if I can...
I've actually, I actually fashioned my own TRX when that one broke, so I need a new one, to be fair.
You fashioned your own?
I just made it out of climbing tape, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Wow. So I'll take that away. It's not as good, obviously.
No, but then you think what
There's
a TRX
bits of black masking tape on it and all sorts, but... I got a TX when they first came out in the UK years ago, because it was designed by an ex-Navy SEAL over in the US, and it's the perfect bit of equipment for my own one that I made up myself. I actually took on holiday as well. I was able to set it up somewhere in that 6 foot square bit of space in my room.
It was all right.
Yeah, it worked.
Excellent.
Just
if only we'd come up with that TRX.
I know, I thought that.
Yeah. Oh well. Do you do much weightlifting? Is it quite boring to you to just go to the gym and use weights?
I do a lot of HIIT sort of training and mix it up. I get bored really quickly. So I do a lot of HIIT, but then I do, because you smash yourself. It is, if you get a hard session in a day or a couple of sessions in a day, it does smash you. So sometimes I like to go in and still do a lift day, just standard walking around the gym flexing. It's always good, isn't it?
Yeah, an aesthetics day.
Yeah, no, it's good. And it's good to sort of keep the strength there. I don't think I go as heavy as I used to do back in the day. Right. My joints are older and they're hanging. So,
well, you're a big guy, and it's for me. You do a lot of bodyweight stuff. A lot. I meet someone like yourself, and I think, how do you maintain that on living your lifestyle? You're a very active lifestyle, very endurance-based lifestyle. Do you think? Do you lose weight? Are you losing weight at the moment? Is it a new thing that you're
trying to lose weight at the moment? I think. Do you know what my downfall is?
What's that?
Is booze.
Right.
As soon as I stop drinking, as in, weekends, and if I meet mates in the midweek, which is easily done in London.
Absolutely.
I go away, or I consciously, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna. Honestly, the weight that you don't want just disappears quickly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just maintain. I'll always train hard. I'll have my off days. I'll have those lift days that we talk about. But I do try to mix it up. When we used to go away in the forces, we used to set up our sort of very rustic gyms, and I used to really enjoy that. We used to nick tyres from the motor transport department off the big trucks, and we'd have sledgehammers, breeze blocks. The metal liners that you keep ammunition in, we'd fill those up with sand and attach broom handles to them. So it was like it was supposedly an Olympic bar, but it isn't.
That's a cool
we
looking
used to
gym.
do stuff like that. Or we used to set up our own. We'd get some mats and set up our own little dojo and have a roll around. And
excellent.
there's always guys with different disciplines, and we'd sort of get together and mix it up. Just fun, really. But
yeah,
you sort of you get amongst it. I like to keep things different. So
yeah, absolutely, mix it up for sure. Do you play many sports?
Nah, not anymore. It's just if I'm going to play something, I want to play it a lot.
Yeah.
I used to play rugby, not very well. So I don't get the opportunity anymore. So I don't, but I do, still train. There's a few gyms in London. There's a gym in London I use, and we've got a good community there. Go in there, mix it up with the lads.
Yeah, what's the gym called?
It's called My Manor.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's a good vibe, good people. We had a sesh this morning, it was hideous.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm going to come down with you guys at some point.
Yeah, come down. The lad
yeah.
called Charlie Watts, who owns it, he's a ledge. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is this? This is hit training, basically, isn't it? So
yeah, well, it's mainly hit. Yeah, I normally go in there and do the force classes, or the mech sort of. It is a hit class that they do, but I go in there, train on my own, or go in there, see some of the lads and train with them, or we'll do the hit class. They do boxing as well, which I don't get involved in the boxing classes myself. They've got a new concept that they've started up as well, which in fact we're going to go and I'm going to do it on Saturday, and hopefully going to maybe in the future do some more and maybe throw in a few of my own, but they call it the yard workout. They've got a space that's in the car park that they've acquired, and they do a yard workout. It's very rustic. It's sort of like, there's again tyres, it's
sledgehammers and things.
Sledgehammers, it's good fun. They get a good bunch of people along, 30 odd people go along, have a laugh.
That sounds awesome.
Destroy ourselves.
Yeah, I bet. So you try and work out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Do you do that in the morning?
Try to get a morning session. Yeah. I try to manage my day so I can get it in sort of around the 8, 9, 10 o'clock period. Doesn't always work out.
No.
Yesterday was a lick because I was on the train back from somewhere. I didn't get back till 3. It was boiling, so I trained in the sort of later afternoon.
Do you train if you haven't had enough sleep?
I will do. Yeah,
you will do.
Yeah, I'm aware of how important it is for sleep, and I normally try to get some decent sleep in, but it doesn't always happen. I'm bloody rubbish at sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm quite a sort of night owl.
It's difficult, isn't it? Especially when you've got so much going on as well.
Yeah.
You're trying to manage all these different things. You got your documentary. So you're working on a book now as well?
I am, yeah. We're myself and someone else are writing a book about my journey with PTSD and the sort of the aftermath. So there's some scene setting bits in it, that are war-y, but they're not. I don't focus on it. It's more about my emotion in certain situations.
Right.
It's not focusing too much on the whys and wherefores, and then it's more about me leaving and the journey that I had from leaving up until, I suppose, present, really,
right.
Or at least it's up until the first series of SAS Who Dares Wins.
So it's you're opening up about your own PTSD and
and the struggles that I had with losing my identity, I suppose.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Do you feel like now that you've regained your identity?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's more about like not lying to yourself,
right?
Understanding who you are, and then once you understand who you are, you can move forward again.
Absolutely.
I think I went through a period where I didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm. So then creating a dialogue about that with people, I suppose, and opening up about it.
Hopefully there'll be parallels that can be drawn by the people that are reading the book. And hopefully it will be there as a bit of a, not so much a guide. I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean it in a, maybe it will spark something in people that are maybe in that place I was when you're reading that book.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I'm really looking forward to giving it a read.
Hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. It sounds really good idea. I think really important as well. So nutrition wise, you must eat quite a bit to maintain your strength and your
probably eat too much, to be honest. Nutrition. I keep a balanced diet. I like all foods. I don't want to cut stuff out. I don't want to diet, but I won't be stupid. I don't actually like sweet food, which is a bonus. I like things that have got sugar in, but I don't particularly like sweet food, but I do, I like my proteins and I like my veg, that sort of thing. Yeah. Carbs, same again. I won't kick the backside out of them, but I just eat what I want, to be honest, and make sure if I'm honest, I try and treat my body like a bad bank account. So, I'll take out more than I put in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an economy, isn't it? You just have to
Unfortunately, I run my bank account like that as well.
Right. As do I. Do you take supplements at all?
No, I have done. And I go through fits and starts with that, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So at the moment, I'm not.
Yeah.
But I used to do the creatine. I went through the period of like the no explode and all that sort of.
Oh yeah.
The pre-workout. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, protein's it's difficult because protein's difficult to get in high quantities when you're eating, chicken, and you got to eat. I find it hard.
It is difficult. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just constantly carrying around cans of tuna and mackerel.
Yeah.
Pissing everyone off around me. But yeah, so having a bit of whey, it's definitely helpful. That's pretty much my gold standard of supplement is whey. I don't use many other things. I use multivitamins and things like that. But so what's your favourite meal? Do you have like an ultimate meal that you'll have that's like after you work out or before you work out?
I do like chicken. There's a cool rotisserie around the corner from where I live. I'd like to go in there. They've got some decent sides with it and that. But I like chicken. I love salmon. I love the fish. But if I'm going to treat myself, it's always a steak.
Oh yeah,
I do like a steak. I think again I sort of overdid it at one point when I was just racking up the red meat because I do like it so much. But then I was like, hang on a minute, you can't keep banging red meat down.
And then you went vegan.
No, I've not done that. That's not me. That's not me.
No,
I'd be lying to myself if I did that.
Stay true to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in again.
It's been awesome.
Final thought, is there anything else that you're planning that we can look forward to come from Jason? Any Foxy content?
There's going to be obviously SAS is coming again. We're going to be doing that soon. And a lot of it is hinging on, this series, the Narcos series, Meet the Drug Lords. I want to do more of that. I really, 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 really like it. What that looks like, we don't know yet.
Right.
So hopefully more of the same with a different subject. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure we will, and I can't wait to watch the show. Awesome. I look forward to seeing what other content you come up with in the future and seeing you on TV some more. And SAS Who Dares Wins as well. Third series?
Fourth
series, of course. Yeah, that's the one. Fantastic.
Fourth series of that, and then get down my manor. We'll have a sesh.
I will do. I look forward to it.
All right, cool.
Cheers, Jason.
Cheers, mate.